everyone, my name is Wilbur and I'm a Royale High player who's been playing the game since 2018. I'm a really active member of the Twitter community. I was there for a while, and today I want to talk about my problems with Royale High's development. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Royale High's development is messy as hell. Now, for those who don't know what Royale High is, it's a Roblox game which released in something 2017, where it was at the time a Winx Club fan game made by an indie dev named Call Me Bob on Roblox. But we will call the developer Barbie for the sake of the video. Her pronouns are she, her. Royale High was Barbie's passion project, however, due to its unexpected popularity, it slowly but surely became her career, becoming one of Roblox's most popular games, often being on the front page. After its Winx era ended, it became what it is now, a princess-themed game. The sub of it is you have to go to class, take care of your avatar, and do different sorts of events to earn in-game currency called diamonds, which you later use to decorate your dorm and buy items to wear on your avatar, such as skirts and heels. Currently, there's a very big in-game catalog, which is both free to play and paid for. At the current standing of Royale High, when I write this script, 17th of October 2023, Royale High released its annual Halloween update called Royale. This is one of the fan favorites, as some of the most beloved items and maps come out during this period. However, despite the love for the update and many expectations, it was delayed 16 days, the longest time a Halloween update has ever been delayed. This is what prompted me to make this video, as delays in Royale High seem to be a common occurrence. In this video, I will analyze the development of Royale High and why it's so bad, honestly, and why everything gets delayed, the communication sucks, blah blah blah. We'll just kind of ramble about Royale High. Okay, so the longest delay in the history of Royale High is actually the new school, also known as Campus 3. I will use both names. Here is a brief cut out of the official Royale High wiki page for a rundown about it. Royale High Campus 3, commonly referred to as the New School, refers to an in-development new school campus realm for Royale High as to be a successor to Campus 2 and Campus 1. A school remake was announced initially in April 2020. Royale High Campus 3 is still in progress. It has only been mentioned to be releasing in the summer of 2023, with no exact release date for the realm at the time. However, at the current standing, it has released in August of 2023, so the wiki is a bit outdated. So that was the cutout from the wiki. Now, my thoughts. So, 3 years of development sounds like a reasonable time frame, even if it's just a Roblox project, as they did promise a lot of new content gameplay-wise. This would be fine if that's what they said, however, 3 years. So you see, most content related to the school was coming out at a rapid pace in early 2020 spring. By most content coming out, I mean information about said content in their Twitter posts by Barbie herself, as well as the other developers. Now all of that left the impression that it might come out mighty fast, especially since it was also announced that a new team of developers was hired, Jam Jew and Fiancé, and possibly some other developers, but I honestly it's a bit difficult to Google everyone who was hired, so those are the important people, Jam Jew and Fiancé. They're still developers, from my information. So, this was later set in stone when the developers announced on Twitch stream that they were hoping to get the update out in time for Halloween of the same year, meaning Halloween 2022, giving them around 9 months to develop it. This, of course, did not happen. As well as that, the developers started slowly releasing less and less updates about the school, with the lead developer, Barbie, barely going on Twitter at all. The communication was very lacking and usually only related to seasonal updates. For comparison, in April we had an overwhelming amount of screenshots of the progress. Look at the screen right now for photos of such posts. We got photos of the front gate, staircase, some classrooms, all sorts of flowers and gardens, and some development streams of building furniture for the new remade dorm system. The hype was strong, which only made the sadness of it not coming in either September or October very strong as well. In Lance being Barbie's husband, pronouns he, him, he's also something of a community manager at the time. So in Lance's stream, he stated the following. We just didn't know how much work or time or how many different people and things it would take to get Royale High new school working and what might break and stuff like. But man, we are so surprised with how much harder and how much longer it took, which is part of the reason why it took so long to release the update. Which was, of course, beyond reasonable. What no one could have expected, however, was the new release date. Somewhere before 2024 is a direct quote from the developers. Friendly reminder, it was still fall of 2020. And the previous announcement was before Halloween of this year. That was a very big change, a 4-year change in fact. So of course the community was angry, but this is just the start. During the development of the new school, everyone started noticing how the updates became very recycly and lackluster. The only things coming out were seasonal updates and really pretty much just new items you can buy, stuff like that. No new content gameplay-wise was released. Well, no major gameplay content was released. So, as for permanent content, not gameplay-wise, yes, there have been releases. Specifically the, pardon my mispronunciation, I'm Slavic, Mardi Gras update, which was added, and it had a new location, a permanent location. It was called Moonlight Square. Also, some beach updates were released, such as the beach house in June of 2020. And then there was this summer city in the year after. So problem is either location had gameplay. Neither. They were both very beautiful locations with nothing to do at all. For comparison's sake, let's look at probably the best summer update Royale High will ever release, Sunset Island. It released a year prior to the beach house in 2019, releasing a new play mode, Pageant. The game is simple. You sign up at the board, and once 8 players have signed up, they get a theme. For example, Daring Diva. You have 10 minutes to make an outfit which resembles a Daring Diva. After the 10-minute period, there is a brief Q&A where 3 randomly selected players have 30 seconds to answer random miscellaneous questions along the lines of what favorite season and why. What's your favorite season and why? This is done in a way to show off outfits of all contestants, which are all present on the screen. After the 3 answers, all players walk down the catwalk and then have 3 votes to give to their favorite outfits. Person with the most votes wins first place. There is also a second and third. These lucky players get the biggest diamond rewards, 1,000, 600, and 400, respectively, while everyone else receives a participation reward of 200 diamonds. This is repeated until the server closes with a 2-minute intermission between pageants. This mode, in simple words, is perfect. Each session lasts roughly 15 to 20 minutes with short intermission periods and has you entertained for all of that time. It has a lot to do even during the intermission period, as you can collect randomly spawned seashells which give a small diamond reward upon collection. The map kept numerous users entertained for years and keeps them entertained till this day. This is one of the most
beloved locations, not only for me but the community itself. I believe I speak for everyone when I say that this is when seasonal updates really peaked, considering this update not only released a fun summertime activity, but also was a permanent gameplay mode too. Another huge plus of this update is that the rewards were diamonds rather than items. I will get back to this later.
Hi, this is Editor Wilby, and I forgot to explain why. So here I am, next day. Basically, the point is, when you get a diamond reward, currency, obviously you can choose what to spend it on. It can either be an expensive set if you're saving for that, or something small. You can also buy limited items from other players for diamonds. However, if you get a limited item, first of all, their value in the community is really small, so if you get like doubles or stuff like that, even if you try to sell them, you won't earn much. And second of all, you don't really get anything that you really want because, maybe it's not your style, maybe although Royale High is really inclusive, maybe the gender just doesn't match. For example, someone who dresses in many princessy outfits probably wouldn't want a sword, for an example, while someone who's looking for boyish items wouldn't want a skirt, yada yada. That's why diamond rewards are genuinely just much better than items, and are, at least to me, much more preferred than items. But yeah, okay, now we can return to your usual program.
Now, let's talk about the beach house, the update which released a year after Sunset Island. I honestly don't even remember the reason of its release. All I can say for sure is that it gave you a free item, some puppy ears or something, and this pretty beach house. Inside of it, I'm pretty sure you can interact with some objects. For example, place a tent, start a bonfire, possibly make milkshakes, which is actually a feature stripped from Sunset Island. From what I can tell now that it's 2023, and the new school came out, is probably the devs saying, hey look, this is how you'll be moving things in the dorms of the new school, considering the method of putting and removing and blah 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 with all the tents and bonfires, it actually really resembles the method of moving items in the new school. Video footage on screen now showing the comparison. This seems to be some sort of bug testing location on the players to see how players react, what different sorts of concerns they might have or suggestions. Now, aside from placing a tent and I guess drinking a milkshake for the 100th time, there wasn't really much to do. You can only place bonfires and tents for so long before it gets kind of boring. From my memories of 2020, all I did was use it as a hangout spot to take photos of my avatars there. That is actually kind of boring to do, and the updates in the coming years followed a similar pattern. They'd release this grandiose new location, then release 1 or 0 things to do in it and call it a day. Moonlight Square, Mardi Gras update, collect items during event period, watch parade. That's it. Something Easter content, collect egg, trade egg for item, enjoy pretty map. That's it. New Year, finish quest, get set, enjoy pretty map. That's it. Christmas. Okay, this one was actually kind of interesting. Log in every day and hope someone sends you a card to get a free item. Send card back. Optional. Fill a tree with paid for balls because no one else on the server wants to, and wait for Santa to drop a box of presents you can only collect 1 of. Note, you can get an item you already got, making the gacha for filling the tree all the more boring and kind of pointless. Note, all of the above only lasted you 5 to 10 minutes a day and is expensive as hell. So that's kind of it, and it was boring. I don't even remember what Valentine's events were other than the fact that they were always half-assed and they just kind of released new items. I think the only major Valentine's edit was working archery, which was kind of broken, and it only lasted for like 4 seconds and a half, and no one actually cared about it after that. There were also St. Patrick's Day updates, which from my memory you're just gonna fly to a cloud, but you're gonna get an item, probably get a duplicate and cry about it. Also equally boring, nothing fun, lasted you for like 4.5 seconds. And that's pretty much it. All of these updates did come with a pretty map to follow it, but you couldn't interact with it much, so what are you gonna do about it? I think by now it's obvious what I'm getting at. There's always these beautiful items and nothing to do. But there is also a possibility. You notice I didn't mention one of the most important seasonal updates, which every game adds: Halloween. That's because Halloween, objectively, is, or more accurately was, the best update every year, because it followed a similar pattern of content. 1, you'd get a maze. 2, you'd get numerous new items. 3, there was an event-limited currency candy, which you can get by either trick-or-treating, collecting chests, or apple bobbing. There was basically a lot of different methods to get the stupid currency. And 4, the update released some of the most gorgeous and most beloved sets in the game. The update was massive, and it was more than enough content for a month. There were an abundance of new accessories, so many different ways to get like all of these gorgeous new items, and there was genuinely just so much love put into these updates, which you can just feel in every corner of the event limited map. Then I also would like to say that these updates also got the most different and most unique maps, with, if I'm not wrong, again, 4 different locations to date out of the 6-year run of the game. So that's 4 different locations. There was Autumn Town in 2017, which I wasn't present for, so I can't comment much about it. Then there was a redecorated Albay in 2018, which I was there for and I really liked it. Then there was the Wickery Cliffs version 1, and now there's Wickery Cliffs version 2, and I could have potentially even missed something. Now, then, in 2017 Halloween, the developers even stepped it up a bit and released a new gameplay mode exclusive for Halloween called Ghost Hunting in Blackwood Manor. It's a shooter-type minigame where you hunt for ghosts and earn event currency for doing so. All of that leads us to today, October 17th, 2023. The Halloween update came out last night, as I mentioned before, 12 days after it was supposed to, as Halloween updates come out on the 4th of October rather than the 1st for some reason. This is obviously very late. The excuse for it being that the lead developer, Barbie, was ill and bedridden, which is a really reasonable excuse I can understand. However, it does raise the question as to why the devs didn't just prepare the update in working condition ahead of time. Even if, okay, it worked the previous times to release the update last minute, let's talk about how we found out that Barbie is sick, or why the update was postponed to begin with. So, everyone expected Halloween to come out on October 1st, which it didn't. Radio silence from devs. Pretty sure a scripter named Colin, pronouns he, they, said something Wickery Cliffs will return, but that's about it. October 4th, nothing. October 8th, nothing. And then, closer to the 9th or 10th, someone posted Barbie's Discord biography says she's sick, which probably is why the update isn't out. I probably shouldn't have to say this, but I don't think it's very professional to delay an update and not announce it. She has a separate Twitter managing team and an official Royale High Twitter account for posting updates, and I genuinely don't believe it would have taken so long for Barbie's husband, Lawns, to say, hey, can you post that the update is postponed until Barbie recovers, probably closer to the 20th, thanks, to the Twitter team. This took me 10 seconds to type out. That wouldn't be difficult at all. Okay, and now even if like they did release it, right? Like surely the update is good, why am I complaining? Well, the update kinda sucks actually. This year they only released 3 new items, one of which is a halo, which, in case you don't know, is an incredibly rare item which is received by a random draw. Most players do not possess the halo or the funds to buy a halo from other players. There is no new set. All they did is recolor the school and made it cute and stuff, but nothing new was added other than the press a button, get candies every hour feature, I guess. I can't even call it a gameplay mode because it's literally you just press a button and get candy on different locations. Like, that's so boring. So they actually, to make matters worse, with the lack of the new content, they actually ruined previous content because they put an hourly limit on apple bobbing, one of the fandom's favorite way to grind Halloween currency. The limit is you can only attempt to apple bob 10 times per hour, which is not enough for the average player to earn enough currency for pretty much any item in game. So this update was obviously not received well. By this time, the community was also obviously mad and raging. People started posting memes and demanding information from the devs who are active on Twitter. Specifically Colin, the scripter known to work on seasonal updates, and Kidzilla, a graphic designer known to accept submissions from fan-related work such as make clothing from the game, as well as make clothing for the game. Both devs started posting about how they're getting attacked and the community is ungrateful, and this is the first delay in 2 years or some bullshit along those lines. All while ignoring the obvious 3 delay of the school, might I add. Now, although I obviously don't condone attacking the devs, I personally don't believe the scene they made is nearly comparable to... No, I do not believe the scene they made is nearly appropriate for what was actually going on. They made it seem like the entire community is turning on them and harassing them and blah blah blah, when in reality, all the community did was just ask for information and post a couple of memes. That's it. I'm not denying there might have been some rotten apples which did make some mean comments and harass the devs, but from what I've personally seen, it was fairly civil and maybe just a bit angry because of the lack of communication. Also, just a reminder that the community is made out of 13-year-old Roblox players, so I'm really not sure what terrible things 13-year-olds can say or send, but I digress. The devs were mad. My personal favorite tweet was from Colin. The tweet reads as follows. Not going to lie, it's kind of interesting how my teacher assigned an essay about toxic fandoms while unknowingly having a student in class with direct experience with toxic fandoms. The timing is just insane. I'm writing this essay right now thinking, wow. This post was posted on October 10th. Wow. Okay, just wow. I don't know. I know many bad communities. I mean, there's even Genshin, which downvoted Genshin into oblivion during the first anniversary, but this is the first time I saw devs of like multi-million-dollar, video game companies or whatever hate their community so much and so publicly that they make statements like this. But let's backtrack a bit, away from Royal Halloween and all the seasonal bullshit. What about Campus 3, what I started but never finished? Well, thing is, Campus 3 did come out. It came out at the end of the summer in all its glory, and it had all these cool features we were waiting for the entire 3 years. Is what I would love to say if that was the truth. What actually happened was it started releasing in phases, one room/location at a time. For a span of 8 days, they released new content daily. From my understanding, there's supposed to be like 14 to 16 phases, but a grain of salt, everyone, grain of salt.
After the initial 8 or so phases released, it was radio silence in the rest of September and October. None of the developers made posts about when the other phases are coming. They just said it won't be here for a while. So, we're 3 years into development, released half the promised content. There is radio silence in September and October up until the Halloween update. And Colin, or any of the devs for that matter, didn't even start working on the next seasonal update, which is Christmas, which is, note, in a month after October. So, what does that make of it? Well, this is all just a massive mess, and that's an understatement, honestly. There is no finished school update, the Halloween update fucking sucks, and no one knows anything. I don't even know what to say, because that's how little answers we are giving about the current state of the game. The developers clearly don't have a set release plan, and they're clearly leaving things for the last minute, or, well, realistically speaking, last month of development before, preparing an update, which is exactly why Royal Halloween was released. And honestly, that's possibly the reason why future updates might be delayed as well, because no one, and I mean no one, is even thinking about Christmas right now. But why? Why does all this poor managing come in a multi-million game which is so beloved by fans? The simple answer is, well, Barbie's a shitty developer. There, I said it. The community will tear me apart for her defense, but I stand by it. She made every possible mistake she could in the past 6 years of Royale High's development. Let's go through some of these mistakes, though. For the sake of my brain cells, I will reference a thread made by Twitter user KandiPumpkin. That's KandiPumpken. Please check them out on Twitter if you're interested in Royale High. They write critiques and compile information in informative and wonderful threads, both for opinions, etc., and they do it in a way that I'd never be able to do so myself. So again, huge shout out to KandiPumpkin for the following information. 1. The utter lack of communication by the lead developer, Barbie. As I said, she was most active in April of 2020, before gradually leaving the social platform Twitter and directly telling the community through Twitch chat to contact other developers for questions and information, making them face criticism alone, and obviously a lack of communication to the lead developer directly, who is in charge of letting information slip out or not, because the developers on numerous times have stated that they can't give answers because Barbie didn't approve of them, or blah blah blah. Now all of these back and forth would be much faster if Barbie just answered the questions on her own. 2. Her anxiety. Not in a way that I mean to say that it's invalid, just to say the fact that she has social anxiety doesn't mean that she can't update her Twitter team, or at least her husband, with content in Royale High. Hell, I dare say she can turn off comments or whatever the hell she wants, as long as she provides information which is accessible to all players easily, in a way where she can also read feedback would honestly be wonderful. But as I mentioned before, she doesn't even update her official Twitter news team on her official Twitter account. 3. Whenever there is a genuine criticism to the game, she makes the team face the consequences alone. Meaning, if she added an insensitive item to the game, or, postpone the Black History Month update by half a year and then make it terrible. More on that maybe in another video someday.
Hi. Okay, so I'm re-recording this bit because I did get my info wrong. So, Barbie actually was a performative activist for Black History Month and actually just fully cancelled an update in 2022, it seems. But for basically making the new school, and it was promised, but the update was actually supposed to be developed by some Black creators, and yeah, it never came out, and I will leave like a little snippet out of the link on screen so you can see that and read it in detail. I'll also leave a link to the webpage I'm referencing in the video description. It's from Royale High Wikipedia, and it's posted by a user called Karasunth. I may have pronounced that wrong, so it's Karasunneth. They posted this on the 21st of February in 2022.
She just never owns up to anything herself. It's always the team apologizing. Well, no, they don't actually apologize. They kind of just dismiss anything. But I digress. Not the point. It's about Barbie. It's always either the team apologizes, kind of, or when she does apologize, she always kind of frames it in a way that it's more of the team's fault rather than her own, which is kind of just like a shitty way to manage it. But usually she just doesn't apologize to begin with, and it's the team being like, oh, we're not sorry, but we're kind of sorry, blah blah blah. The one time that she actually did apologize in the last 6 years, it went terribly, just for the record. Now, 4 is Barbie's silence. She dismisses everything which happens in the community and never comments on anything, even straight up popular lies and misconceptions about updates. She doesn't care about her community. And that leads us to the next point number 5. She clearly doesn't understand her game only stands because of said community. Most of the team are Royale High players, often children, and the game has a bunch of content made by fans only, usually submitted in contests such as writing, ring design, hair design, fabric design, and whatnot. This was going on since the beginning of the game. It's not bad in and of itself, but with so much clear hatred and lack of interest in her own community, it feels in bad taste to use all of their work for this. It's honestly just sad. So, in summary, the update sucks, the school still is delayed, the management is terrible, and this Word document is over 3,000 words long. I will likely not make it part 2, as my attention span can only last for so long. However, if someone other than my girlfriend, hi V, watches this, do comment on what you want me to discuss next. If I made any mistakes in my assessment of the situation and yada yada, basically just fill me up with information, might comment on it. I'd love to have everyone's feedback and, possibly rage. You can rage into the comments, and I'll maybe rage some more and make a part 2 to this about bashing Royale High, which is my favorite game. Alright, so this is my 5th edit or something, but hi, it's the 19th of October now, and there are just some more things I'd like to mention. So this morning I woke up to a beautiful tweet from Colin. It says, I wasn't part of the Royale High apple bobbing limitation decision, so I do not have the information on to why. And user Ryan, just a user response, well, then ask why, because we can have direct contact with Barbie, only the developers do. And Colin's one heck of a response was, even if I did, it's not my place to release an answer to the public. That's what Colin said.
I'll just read out my, quote tweet to this because I'm just gonna start raging if I ramble. So I said, Colin, genuinely, then who is? There's no direct contact to the decision maker, Barbie. She informed us to ask questions to the devs on Twitter. We, the community, have no place to ask questions about this game because she built barriers around herself. She has set you up. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to add. On this note, the video does end. I already said the outro, so yeah. Once again, thank you for the help of, information gathering, KandiPumpkin, and yeah, bye!